Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reacts where today we have ourselves a track from Kxng KO featuring the Millennial General and Dezzy Howell titled Talk to Me Nice. And if we switch over to here, we've got ourselves a video on YouTube and we're going to listen through this track from start to finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it.
Most importantly, pushing the envelope of creativity. Like nobody didn't give him that. He was born with that quality. He's an entrepreneur.
Talk to me nice.
Visionary. He's the philanthropist.
Talk to me nice. Don't like to talk, if we gon' talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Wolf not a dog, don't like to bark, definitely bite. Nice. Don't like to talk, if we gon' talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Wolf not a dog, I'm in the dark, howl the night. Talk to me nice.
Great bass response.
I don't wanna fight. Been taking the risk, like life was a gamble. Been taking the talk to me nice. Howling at night, like show me the light. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Take it back down to Roxbury. Back then life was so heavy. Can't say nobody fed me, but people let me eat so they bless me. Feeling like Lou Lucky Lefty, but we still swallowed by the beast in the belly. Trying to get swallowed by some cheeks in the telly. Tomato, gelato, spaghetti. Spending whole weeks in the park, I was ready to get.
I love the approach of the vocals here.
Yeah, Vin Diesel, Chronicles of Riddick, 10-second car, gone in a minute. Talk to me nice, unless you mean it. It's what it is, I'ma respect it. Please do not censor, please do not edit. Talk to me nice. Don't like to talk, if we gon' talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Wolf not a dog.
Like a phenomenal tone to that 808.
Nice. Don't like to talk, if we gon' talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Wolf not a dog, I'm in the dark, howl the night. I might hear what you saying, but it's all about respect. I might care what you saying, but it's all about respect. I might hear what you saying, but it's all about respect. I might care what you saying, but it's all about talk to me nice. Talk to me nice, cause I cannot lie. I'm out of my mind, half of the time. I'm not alright, you don't know what I fight. So talk to me nice.
I dig the message here. I just think it's incredibly positive. Just talk nicely to people, you know.
So talk to me nice.
I know there's more to it, but
talk to me nice. Ready for war, but I don't wanna fight. How like the moon, I'm like, show me the light. Nice. If you knew better, you'll talk to me nice. Rolling up blunts and I'm already high. Going through stuff and it's balled up inside. Nice.
Most importantly, he is a great person and an amazing recording artist. I'm proud, honored to have Kxng KO on the Better Yourself podcast. King, what's good?
I think it's lovely. And I dig the approach to it. It's nice. We're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Kxng KO featuring the Millennial General and Dezzy Howell titled Talk to Me Nice. Now, what is this track about? I think this track is about basically treating Kxng KO with respect. It's about understanding not just that, you know, just being a decent human being and just being good to one another, but it's also that they've been going through stuff, you know. They howl at the moon to look for the light, you know. It's this kind of situation where they're just desperately, well, not desperately, but they're trying to find their own way and path forward there. And people, you know, talk about how they're a great recording artist and everything like that. As a musician, they're doing well for themselves, but just as a person as well, they deserve equal respect. So I think if nothing but the fact that this is a song I'm hearing where it's basically about being better to people and trying to be more understanding of other people's positions and stuff like that and where they came from, how they grew up, etc. I think that's just a really positive thing to write a song about, and I enjoy that. So well done on that front alone. One of the things I like about this track is and it seems like such a generic thing to say, but the quality of the vocals, in the sense that, like, I think that genuinely the way we articulate, the way we push things forward, the bit of the wordplay we had there, the polish on the performance there, and the confidence, but also the ability to be almost like conversational to a certain extent about it is there's a lot of really positive aspects to the way we did things within this piece. And I've got nothing but love for the way that we know we are trying to sort of open up a show like a little bit of vulnerability, but not in the way where it's too much or insincere. And I just think you couldn't have really asked for more in this situation. I think oftentimes you get people trying to front and sort of like talk about like the way they are in here, It's almost like it's a strength to be able to show that little bit of wanting more from other people. So I think that's really cool. So I think, but it's also that we rapped well and communicated well, and the overdubs were great, but the main vocals throughout the verse and chorus and hook parts were tight as well. No complaints. And it was just also like when he would like howl, you know, like when he was doing a howl, like the woo kind of thing, talking about the wolf, you know, just the actual personality there, adding a little bit extra more on top of the rapping and the sort of like more conversational parts is in the vocal and the other people speaking about them and stuff like this. I like the various sort of vocal characterizations that we have going on here. And so behind that, you need a really solid beat. And, you know, again, it's simply, there's elements of it that I appreciate. For one, I think that 808 tone with the crispiness, the crunch of it, the gain on it was just amazing. It was such a beautiful sounding 808. And it wasn't there all the time. There were moments there where it rumbled and was like, holy crap, that's just, and I sound like I'm glazing, but I'm not. Like, as someone who's like done a bit of music production and stuff like, I really appreciate that. I like when you can get that tone right and it's distinctive, because there's a lot of 808s in music, you know. But it's also the variation to the way the different drum played, the clap, cymbal, and kick parts. I enjoyed that as well. There was moments where things floated, you know, without that bass response there, and you simply had the drums kind of pushing us forward in a way which was really articulate and kept a sense of groove and pace to it, but it was never too much. But you also had like some vocal chops, kind of synths on the side that would add a nice bit of color there to couple with that in a way which is very effective. And I just think that constant loop of that with the variety within the vocal performance itself is effective. And I just think ultimately having a short form track like this at 2 minutes 30 is cool, because you have that main theme, that idea there, variations with the amount of bass versus some versus less and versus more. It's nice and heavy where it needs to be, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. I just think ultimately it doesn't overcomplicate the backing of it so that the vocals remain the focal point. I think finally it's the studio quality though. Ultimately things were well leveled. There was nice little bit of filtering at the start, like reverb on like the vocal take there of the person talking about pushing the envelope of creativity and stuff like that. I liked that. It almost seemed kind of like atmospheric when you had the astronaut there. And it was also just that we didn't sort of like overcomplicate the vocal processing either, or the production there. I think that having a nice take with solid EQing and compression and a good glow to it really helped it stand out in the mix. But then, of course, you have the kick and the snare of the drums and the bass and all the other elements come in the heavier sections, and they cut and sidechain really neatly with no issues with EQing, music surrounding you in the stereo field. There's like the kind of the wow wow kind of sounds going around the side there, so it's great exploration of that. The music surrounds you in the headphones, and that kind of rumble of the 808 kind of facilitates on the left side as well, which is kind of cool. And now there's subtle kind of chord progressions in the background as well that I didn't mention before, like on keys or pads or whatever. They just add a bit of kind of depth to it. And it was just ultimately just really well layered with subs and main layers in regards to the mix. There was dynamic range. Things weren't like over leveled or oversaturated or choked, but it was also nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression and limiting was handled. And having like the filtering of the synth or main motif or those vocal chops in the background near the end was really effective as well, because we made it sort of like more sort of focus in on those main vocal takes, talking about how they're amazing recording artists and stuff like that. And it just, we knew where to keep the focal point from a post-production perspective is just as well as a compositional one. And ultimately, I don't really have any complaints about this track. I think it's just really well done in general, and it's a good, you know, first impression to Kxng KO's work. So thank you for watching my review of this track from Kxng KO featuring the Millennial, General, and Dezzy Howell. Titled Talk to Me Nice. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and their YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SB Reacts. Spiderhands out.